Boom. It's about that time, man. Reminisce show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live Eastern time. Chilling here with my brother.
Mom been the supreme. What
Hey,
up?
go
Living
by
the dream.
Logic, man. Yes, man. We out here, man. Like lots of, great hip hop news, like some of our, founding fathers from the 90s, man, are resurfacing and doing God's work, man. So we're going to get
Ooh,
into that. I
oh,
know,
it's a good time.
I know you got to connect with Nardwar, and we've definitely spoke about that, and that whole name drop, when you got to interview Drake and whatnot, which was really cool. So we'll get into that in a bit. But before all of that, always got to start with the check in. You know what I mean? How you feeling, brother?
I feel real good. I feel real good. I thought I might have been sick on the weekend, but it turns out I'm okay. And
Proper.
uh, yeah, I lost a little bit of weight, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm healthy, and I don't have the flu or nothing. So I'm
Okay.
happy. Been feeling spiritually very happy. It's a good time, and I'm ready to contribute to the community. I feel
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
That's
yeah. How
peace.
about
That's
you?
peace, man.
How
Yeah,
about you?
like my energy's been kind of like up and down, kind of low, you know what I'm saying? But just taking one day at a time, adjusting to this, darkness, darkness is upon us, you know.
Is
But it's the cycles of life. It's one of those like reminders that, we go through different phases, and to appreciate each moment, because there's always like medicine within it. There's always something to learn, something to gain wisdom from and whatnot. So I always like choose that kind of mindset whenever I'm like all over the place. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be learning from this situation that I would not have been focusing on otherwise, right? So there's always that, so having a positive spin on things. But other than that, man, everything is pretty blessed. Skating season is upon us now. Like the rinks are getting ready, and I'm looking to get some new skates. I haven't gotten new skates in a good like 5-6 years, so I'm like, you know what?
oh,
I'm gonna
time.
invest in some proper ones that can last me several years, right?
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
excited for that. And of course, some of the hip hop shows that are coming up. We know that Mob Deep is coming around the corner. I really want to see it. I enjoy seeing Big Noid like on stage. And there's something about his energy that's just so contagious, and very
Mm.
entertaining. So, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. Feeling all right.
Yo, I agree with all of that. And yeah, there's still some nice days. Like um, the snow fell like once or twice, but it keeps going away real quick, and that's how I kind of expect most of our
Yeah,
climate crisis winters to be for the next little while. Like, yeah, the weather's going to be a little up and down, but we still getting some nice days. So I'll be out on my bike, and yeah, I was biking around today, and yeah, I'm with you. Like, hopefully, we'll still get a few good little winter pleasures. Like I want you to get your ice skating in,
yeah,
but then still hopefully have it as warm as possible. But
yeah, yeah. So
yo,
that's
yeah, because I'm gonna just jump into it before I
please
forget.
do.
Like,
Yeah,
speak places that don't have much snow, Vancouver. The homie Nardwar came through, and on
yes.
Sunday it was a super blessing.
So what exactly was it? Like it was just like his own like talk back kind of vibe going on. Like what exactly was the setting? Yeah.
It was super dope. So, I seen this thing that Nardward was doing an in store for his new Nike shoe that came out. He's got
Okay.
this really dope Nike made a shoe for him, and
Yeah.
it's like plaid and it looks real ill. It's like perfect for him. And he had an in store on Sunday, but I like heard about it and I was like I wasn't sure if I was able to make it,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, I think he's in town. And then I was going out for food at 6 o'clock on Sunday, and I saw this thing pop up, and it said Nardwar down at the Great Hall. It was called Nardwar's Video Vault, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
what? And I was like, oh, I was like, hey, he's on Queen Street right now, and it starts at 6, and it's like 6:15, 6:20. I'm standing there.
you're like, let's go.
I'm like, I'm not gonna get food anymore, and I just splurted down there, and I just went there quick, ran up to the door,
Wow.
and I was like, "Yo," but the thing said sold out on the event, and I was like, "Hey, I know
Yeah.
Nardwar. I'm mind bender. I'm gonna just cross my fingers, try to get lucky." So I run up, and I'm like, "Can I get a ticket?" And the person's like, "We got 2 tickets left to sell. There was just a few at the door," and I'm like, "Hold one of them for me." So I bought the second last ticket. I go
Wow.
inside. Adrian, I go inside. Guess who's spinning? Mel Boogie.
Come on.
I'm like, oh, it's family. I'm like,
That's just
yo,
that.
this is
Yeah.
amazing, Mel. But so I just run right up to the front. I'm like, Mel, oh, I'm like just super happy. So I just slid in there last minute, catch a little short set by Mel, and then the show started at 7.
Okay.
And what it was him just going through about an hour of selected footage of shout outs, little clips from funny people when he
Yeah.
talked, and little like just he just was storytelling. He just
Yeah.
reminisced
Yeah.
just Remy, just down the road, telling stories about his childhood. But then he's like, oh, the Tyler the Creator story, and then Timothy Chalamet, and he's like, um, uh, Little B, and like just random people.
Right.
And you're
No,
just like,
he's done it all, man. Yeah.
yeah, man. And then he was just a couple of like really like insider stuff. Like he's like, yo, nobody's ever seen this. Was like his interview with Kurt Cobain. So he's like
Oh,
telling the story of him, and he shows. I was taking clips of it, and I'm like, yo, Mans is talking about how he met Kurt, and it was really dope. He just didn't hide nothing.
yeah.
Nardwar, one of those, like, literally, I'm not even joking, like one of the purest people on the planet. He's like, yeah, I'll talk to that was actually the great thing about him, because he's like, I've talked to some of the biggest celebrities in the world. Here's my like interview with Pharrell, and Pharrell was like, this is the best interview I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jay-Z interview, so and so. And then when he's talking to us, it's the exact same vibration. Like he was
Wow.
just so down to earth with everybody, doesn't treat any, he treats like superstars and normal people the exact same.
Beautiful. That's a humanity piece, man. Love that. Love to hear it.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, he's going through most of the show. It's just all hype and funny and jokes. So right near the end, he just does something awesome, and then I'm just in the front row. I'm like, "You're the best!" And I just shouted out. I was like, "Yo, you're an awesome human," because he just like had a really like
Yeah.
nice story about something. And then he looks at me, and he notices me, and then he's like, "Yeah." And then there was this one time where I met Drake, and then I'm like, "Oh shit!" And he didn't even have the video clip, and he's like, so, and then he's like starts walking towards me, and he's like, "Yo, so then he just incorporates me into his show, and he's like, yo, so there was a time where I met Drake, and then he's like, what happened? And I was like, he just kind of gave me an alley oop and then just gave me the microphone. I was like,
Wow.
oh, and I was like all nervous, and I didn't even know Mel Boogie was behind me videotaping that too.
Oh, good. Oh,
So I was like, this is great. And I was like, what? And I'm like, yo, I was like, you blew Drake's mind. And he's like, what did I blow Drake's mind with? And I'm like, oh, the SBU CD. I was like, yes, he's like, who
yes.
are you? I'm like, I'm Mindbender, SBU music lover. And I was like, I gave you Drake's CD one time, and then you showed it to him, and it all just came full circle. And I was like, yo, my phone blew up. I was like, it was so great. All the
Gave
energy
him
that
his
I got.
flowers. Yeah.
I just had to keep giving him flowers. I'm like, Nardwar, you're awesome. And he was just like, he's like, yo, thank you. And he was just great. We took some pictures after, and it
Yeah.
was fire.
Yo, that's
Just
powerful. I love the way how he like incorporate. First of all, that's an epic story, by the way. And to be fair, like I've been with you on some missions where this type of magic happens. So this isn't just like a one-off. Like you do got some magic with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny too because the time when we got to hang out with Drake, it was along the similar type of vibes, like totally random, unexpected. It was
yep,
just, hey, here we are, and you're out to go get some food. You see a flyer, you're like, oh, I gotta go, and then it's like, what, sold out? No, I'm still gonna make it through. Get the second last ticket. Not only that, you get reaffirmed through DJ Mel Boogie. So now you're like, oh, I'm in. You know what I mean? She's the DJ. That's the homie, man. So we're good.
yep,
And then of course, from a hip hop perspective, you're gonna, link up with your brethren. And then that
yep.
just kind of puts you in the perfect view for him to recognize you. But not only was it just like a head nod or whatever, he fully just like gracefully, like on some like improv style, incorporated you into his set.
A
Like
million percent.
chef's kit, like smooth, man. Like just really like, oh, incredible. Like, so
Yep,
just seeing that whole pathway and just for you to even be reaffirmed, because I did see the clip online, which is shout out to Mel Boogie for capturing that, because I wouldn't have seen it. And I know there was like some cheering and whatnot. So great, a great cosign for you. And I would even suggest this might be an opportunity to like reconnect with him and kind of build that relationship, man. Because I feel like just even just you two having conversations would be like epic. Like I would love to just sit around and hear y'all talk about music. You know what I'm saying?
I,
Like,
I, you're right, and I told him that when we were doing the picture. We were getting the picture, and I was like, "Yo, my dream." I was like, I know you're busy and stuff, but I told him, I'm like, my dream one day is to get a Nardwar interview, and so I put the
hey,
seed into that
get
because
out there
he,
for sure.
people were asking him. They were like, "Yo, what's?" Here's like one of the pictures I got of it.
Dope. Yeah, yeah, yep.
So shout out to my other homegirl who she's got some pictures of me with him, but she didn't get to send it yet. And they
Yeah.
were asking Nardwar, like, what are some of the interviews that you haven't done yet that you still are wanting to
Ooh.
do? And I can't. He said like two or three of them, but one of the most notable, he goes Barack Obama, and I was like, "Yo, real one."
Oh,
And I
that
was
would
like,
be cool.
"Yes." He's like, and the way he said it, he's like, "I really want a Barack Obama interview." He just said it with his heart. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one. Oh,
yeah, because
oh,
he
oh.
yeah, he showed actually a lot of his clips. He met up with a lot of Canadian politicians, and he had this funny game that he would play with them, and he did it with like almost every famous politician, like
Okay.
all like Jagmeet Singh and
Yeah.
Mark Carney and Jean Chrétien did it, and all of them were just showing their funny side. And so I was like, yeah, this man actually, it's not is more than music. Like he could just like. And then I'll end on the note that he said one of the most beautiful things he said. He goes, "Yeah, my mom." He showed a clip of his mom doing some TV interview from 1989 or something, who inspired him. And he's like, his mom told him goes, everybody in the world, celebrity or regular person, has an interesting story to tell. You just have to know what questions to ask them. And
Ooh.
I was like, come
That's
on, dog.
big. That
Yeah,
that's the real art in it, man. Absolutely. The
yeah,
questions. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is why like anything he does is fire. He's just like, yo, yeah, and he was just he gave all his jewels, like all those times where people are like, "How did you know that?" And Nardwar goes, "I just did my research." He's like, sometimes he's like, I read liner notes. He's like, I just did more than Wikipedia. I read liner notes and flyers, and I just did my research. And I'm like,
Right.
word. So he's just like, you can be
Yeah.
me too. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah. And it's dope because one thing that he's been really well at doing is getting to the core of like humanity, like whoever he's speaking to really humanize them and to kind of like put that ego aside where it's just like, wow, like you actually see me for who I am. Things that most people overlook, like the little things that mean so much, because he always does that, and you'll see the genuine look on their face, like, how does he know that? Like what?
yep,
Like
all the
crazy
time.
all the time.
Yo,
He's
yeah,
like,
there's just so many moments. Like he walked up to this dude, hands him a record, and it's like, and he looks at him and he's like, "I'm gonna cry." He just like hands you like a copy of your childhood favorite song,
yes,
like
yes,
signed autograph. You're like, "Oh my god, like what an amazing gift!"
yeah,
Like
yeah,
magic is
yeah.
yeah. And he went into my last one is how much he told the Snoop Dogg stories, and he's like how he gave Snoop's like, yo, Smoke Fest Volume 1. I don't even have this. He's like, Nardwar, I love you for life. This is my first video I ever videotaped and made myself. And you gave me a VHS copy that I don't even have.
Wow.
Then
See, look at that.
he's like, yo, I was in there and my cameraman, he goes, Snoop was like, put a blunt in the microwave and smoked it with in front of me. And so he shows that clip and it was just
That's
fantastic.
crazy.
I'm just up there because it was just like it
Oh
just
man.
doesn't get better. It
Well,
doesn't get better.
big up to Narwar, man. Represent for the culture. Yeah, man. That's super, super blessed. But yeah, like there's something else that happened like in hip hop news, that's like came up, man. What you got, man? I know you're always, you got your ear to the streets, man. What's
Well,
going on?
there's a couple things. Oh, let's talk some good news first.
Okay, okay, okay.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
go. What up?
Yo, December
What's happening?
12th,
What's happening December
2025.
12th?
It is called Light Years, and that's
Oh,
the name of the album featuring DJ Premier and Nas. Official. It's
oh
official.
man.
Real.
Oh
It's
man, we
called
need like a Nas is like part two vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yup, it's happening.
Yo,
So
that's incredible. I'm excited for that. I know, I've been really impressed with Nas's, projects as of late. Like, I really feel he's just getting better. Like, he's found his pocket. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's really just riding it. And, working with Premiere, of course, there's, a lot of history, legendary. And I know that they're going to honor the culture. They're going to be like, yo, give the people what they want. Man, they
mhm,
know what kind of sound we want to hear. And I really feel they're really going to zone in on that. Bring that
yep,
lyricism, that hardcore, that boom bap, New York, like, yo,
that
you can hear
classic.
it, the train in
Yo,
the background, you know what I'm saying? Like, all
yeah.
of that, man.
You just made me think of something because I'm gonna get on my Nas soapbox a little more after we talk about this one.
Yeah,
But I just thought of something like, so Nas is guesting on all these amazing projects. He's guested on it, just had a
yep, yep,
spectacular run all year. Big L, Ghostface,
yep,
Raekwon, Clips, just
yep.
enough. He's just been murking it.
That's a
So,
good point. That's a good point.
so I'm thinking like who, and he's also on the De La Soul album, which I'm about to talk about next. It's
Oh,
fucking so I'm thinking who is going to guest on the Nas album because Nas and Primo have worked with mad people. And, it's not. I don't think it's just going to be them.
yeah,
So like, you know, who's gonna could be like Az, could be Jay Z. Who and I just had a thought like I'm like, is Nas going to do a crew track? Like I feel like Nas is going to like make some statements and do some
yeah,
things. Be
yeah,
like, I feel like what traditions is he gonna like be like, yo, this is hip hop, this is what an album and this is what a statement is supposed
yeah,
to
yeah,
be.
yeah, for
So
sure. He'll
'cause
definitely.
after 30 years, not and after all the things he does, it's like there's gonna be little criticisms and whatever, but like I don't, I think we're gonna get a spectacular piece of work.
I really do feel so, and like you said, like there's going to be a statement. I really feel it's going to be rooted just in the essence of hip hop, which is that knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Like we got to sprinkle that, and I feel like the angle would just be, what's kind of like missing from the game, or what are people responding to, especially seeing artists like the Clips and De La Soul and so many others that's just getting a positive review. That's like getting up in age, so to speak, right? So I feel like really going to speak to that particular demographic and come with the quality, man. Like like come with the essence, yo. We need that, man. That knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Yeah, there's
Feed
no
our
way
brains,
Nas.
man. Food for thought.
Yeah, Nas is gonna like every song is gonna have some ideas, some quotables. It's gonna be,
Concepts, yeah,
but yeah, just gonna be like, yo, because every time he does like all his big statement albums, he really does things that last forever. Like on Stillmatic, I was like, when Jim Jones was talking his bullshit this year about
yeah,
him being more important than Nas, which was like such a hilarious, ridiculous idea. One of the criticisms that people said, somebody was like, "Yo, check Jim Jones out here in his second childhood again, talking shit that is just ridiculous. Like he's looking like a silly teenager while Nas is out here, like performing with some orchestra in
facts,
Idaho.
facts.
Like Nas doesn't even have time to respond to this because he's so mature and beyond this
That's
silly
it, man.
speech. And I'm like, yeah, man, like that's second childhood is a I want like one Nas song that I'm like, yo, this is such a slept on Black Girl Lost. Do you remember
Yes,
that song?
of course.
Oh, I know you do, but
Yo,
I'm
the
just like,
lost tapes were my joints. All of those, like Fetus, Drunk by Myself,
oh,
Papa was a Rolling Stone, like so,
oh my god,
like
Do Rags,
Do
Black
Rags. Those were
Zombie,
all my
oh,
joints. Like those were,
like forever songs. Like those
yeah.
ideas are eternal ideas. Like,
Yeah, those
oh,
lots. And what's crazy is I remember like hearing about those shortly after the I Am album. You know what I mean? It was like shortly after that. So like these tracks got leaked or whatever. So I remember hearing some of them from like a long time ago. You know what I mean? Before they got repackaged and released or whatever. But yo,
yeah,
those were my joints. I love the underground stuff, man. Like the introspective thought. Like the way how Nas paints like stories like that. Like again, Fetus, super
Edith,
slept on record, super
Edith,
slept on.
man's rapping from the inside of a womb. What the hell? Like, yo, man, real timeless
Yeah,
records. And so I mean the album is called Light Years. What a brilliant, I'm like, yo, that album, that just that title alone, like Nas can just do so much with it. There's just and 30 years in the making, Nas Primo, and it's supposed to be 15 songs.
That's a proper album.
That's the rumor. Yeah, December 12th.
Okay,
So
just before
yeah,
Christmas, man. Yeah. But you
yeah.
know what? Like Nas having all these features is pretty dope. You know, I wonder it would because you said something about statements and like collaborations and whatnot. It would be interesting if they just kind of did like this like mega tour, man. Like all these artists that Nas is like feature with. That there was just like this like tour or something. Like I feel like there's something like he's moving strategic. There's something cooking. He's cooking something,
Oh
man. He's
yeah.
cooking.
Oh, for sure. And I think right now DJ Premier is on tour on a DJ tour with with Alchemist DJing through
Right,
Europe.
right.
But I think it ends like in January or ends in December. So like, and, Nas is like, hey man, we waited 30 years for the album. You can wait a couple months for the tour. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do the tour as soon as the album drops. We let it
No,
bubble.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be like more like a
Next
summer
summer.
kind of vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Gonna let
So
let it like ride for a bit. But hey,
yeah,
I'm here for it. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Just make sure it come back to Toronto.
yeah,
And that's all I got to say to that, man.
yeah. I'm gonna try so hard. I've met Nas once. I've talked to him on the phone for interviews twice. I've seen him in concert 16, 17 times. And I just want one picture, man. I want I want to shake that hand once, and I want one picture. That's one of my life dreams. I can't even tell you how hard I want to. When he comes back around next time, mission,
Yes,
mission,
yeah,
Link
yeah.
Nas. Like, oh my God, not even gonna be nice about it no more. Just be like, fam. 'Cause I just
Yeah.
missed him when he was when the Nas and Wu Tang tour happened. He did an in store at the Raekwon shop, and I
Oh,
got in, but
oh
Nas,
yes, that's right. Yeah. I was there for that, but yeah,
yeah, Nas was only there for like 20 minutes. And
yeah. Well, hey, man, maybe when they come through again, maybe they may do the in store, Nas and Primo. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. Anything's possible. Never know.
mm.
Never know.
That being said, let me do a quick little add on because that Nas and De La Soul song is my anthem right now. It's
Nas and
oh,
De La Soul, eh?
it happened. The De La Soul album is fantastic, and yeah, let me not just talk about Nas because the guests on it spectacular. Common, Slick
Hmm.
Rick, Pete Rock beats, DJ Premier beats, Killer Mike is on it, uh, Giancarlo Esposito is on it, um, Little Dragons on it. Like I think another rapper, yeah, Common.
Hmm.
It's a great piece of work. And yeah, rest in peace to Trugoy. He's on it, thank God. Pause news. Oh, with a Nas song. Oh, spectacular.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna just stop because I've been
Yeah.
ranting about
Well,
it.
hey, man, you know what? I haven't taken in, some of these records, but I'm gonna be building on them just now, man. So big up to that, man. Big up to that.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like you've also attended some other events like this week. There was that one at OCAD with Oliver there, representing. You know what I'm saying? I know that was in partnership with like the remix and what have you. So why don't you break down like that experience and what was happening over there?
It was really nice. It was yeah, in the building on the fourth floor. There was a lot of remix project youth in there, so it was dope to walk in and see Forsante sitting in the front, holding it down. He was just dripped out. He had this ill ass
So
overall with the stolen from Africa. Like as soon as I walked in, he was the first person I saw. I was like,
dope.
no, I feel like I'm in the right spot right now. This is great, great. So I
Yeah,
thought he was going to be a host or something, but he was just like helping out
just
the
there.
event. And
Gotcha.
then yeah, when yeah, that kid it just yeah, man, you just feel good about the future of seeing that
True.
homie. So but the panel it was probably about felt like maybe 200, 250 space people. Um and then there was free food and drink. They took care of people. It was nice. And it was Brian Espirito from Legends League, the
Okay.
artist and the talented head, doing the question and answer with Oliver El Khatib. And yeah, it was just pretty half general, half pretty in-depth life jewel exploration discussion for probably about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And he just talked about mostly Oliver's life, but obviously how Oliver did his thing and then met up with Drake and how they built OVO
Right,
and
right.
yeah. So yeah, they got into some details, didn't get too deep, but also they revealed a few good life lessons and stuff. And yeah, it was great. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. I'm glad to hear that. There's a lot of remix, students. Remix Project is doing a lot of incredible things. I know they have the graduation coming up, and the application form is on the way. But yeah, like we need more spaces, like for young people to have access to like mentors and just be able to peep game, like just have them within like close proximity, like off the screens and devices and platforms and in real life. So I'm always for that type of build. But you did mention a really interesting story, when we were checking in about a young, I guess, like aspiring producer, and he was able to get his music too. And so, I want you to build on that for a bit because I think that's a pretty cool. That's so hip hop to me. So
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It was good because they had a really long, good discussion. But the proper thing to do at the end is a good question and answer period, so the
right,
youth can get their questions answered. So it was generally things like how do we get funding? How do you get on? Just general
yeah,
questions. And then there was this young like kind of Italian looking cat, and he he was super nervous, and he was really
yeah,
nervous
like
in the microphone.
awkward and like
He was like awkward. He's like, "Yo, I stayed up all night making this USB with some beats, and I just wondered if I could give it to you." And then it was cool. Oliver was like, "Yeah, come hand it up." And Oliver was like, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." So it was cool. A lot of
yeah,
you could feel the energy in the room. Like a lot of them were like, "Shit, I kind of wanted to do that," and this cat was bold enough to do it on the microphone at the Q&A and just like shoot the shot like
yeah,
in front of everybody at the stadium. So it was a cool moment. It was cool for Oliver to even just take it, whether or
for
not the
sure,
kid. And yeah,
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
that was good. That was good. And there's a couple other good questions. It was, it could have been, yeah, it was mostly a wonderful event. But yeah, like I'm just infinitely curious. So I just wished that there were some answers about like what's happening with the Iceman album or some of the more complicated problems they might have to deal with. But I understand like not too much detail wanting to be revealed, but doesn't make us still not curious.
yeah, yeah. And of course you would come up with that type of question, for sure. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
It's like let's get right into it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
things that once people hear, they're like, yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, yeah, I do want to know about that.
yeah, yeah. Like which I like, I felt like I was one of the oldest cats in the room, but I'm like, hey, I don't care. This is my life. I'd say
For
prop is
sure.
Toronto. I'll be there. But I still was like, not every time do I always feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
for sure.
ask questions and but I they still hailed me up when I saw them. It was
Yeah,
cool.
that's
All
what's
of them.
up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, yeah. No, that's super, super blessed, man. I hope there's more sessions like that. Well, I guess on this kind of vein, if there was like another opportunity for a panel or some notable person within our community, like who would you like to see like on those stages, sharing, and who do you think that would actually open up? Like very similar to how you mentioned about Nardwar, how he's very transparent and whatnot. Like who would you feel would be a great person? To kind of pick their brain at.
Uh I'm gonna say two people. One
Okay.
because of the controversy and the wisdom that they have, even though it might be hard to get it or not.
Yeah.
And then the second person, just because I know he's also got a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
The first one I would say is Ebony Rowe, and then this
Ooh.
and then the second one I would say is actually Big C Craig Mannix.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right, yeah, I mean, but, I mean, there's American cats too, of course, but,
Yeah.
like, those are, yeah. As far as
Holy
America, I'm
fire,
not
man. Okay.
Who in America? I don't know. It's weird because right now I do like it's such a weird time in the culture, and there needs to be new leadership because the
Yeah,
music industry is falling apart. There needs to be new leadership because
yeah,
leaders like Diddy are in fucking jail,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
so like yeah, there's a really shifting of the times, and like the kids are kind of lost, and
yeah.
people are like we're some I see some people be like Nas wrote Illmatic when he was 19, and
Right.
Prodigy they wrote the Infamous when they were
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
What kids nowadays that are 19 or 20 are doing similar things? And I'm like,
Right.
one, I don't
Yeah,
really think it's happening, and two, it's also interesting that some of the kids aren't even motivated to create music like that. Like technology has made it a new generation, so there's just new need for
wow.
new leadership, and new thoughts of wisdom. I'm saying this to say, like, some of the people that used to be the old leaders aren't what we thought anymore. And Pharrell said something that wasn't cool. I'm going to take a little moment to criticize him. I don't know if you saw it in the
I did
last
not
week.
know it.
Pharrell, they asked if Pharrell was on a panel, and
Yeah,
they asked him what he thought about politics or something. They didn't like say directly into Trump or something, but they're like,
yeah,
"Hey, what do you think about politics?" And then Pharrell had a pretty corny answer where he's like, I think all politics are a divide and conquer game. And if you take a side, um, you're falling into their trap. And somebody somebody had there's a variety of responses, and somebody had a particular response that was one of my favorite. Somebody was like, Pharrell, that's some corny bullshit. This isn't pancakes versus waffles. Some of these divides are people who actually want to kill us. We have to take a stand.
right,
Like, and I'm,
right,
and
right.
I'm like, yeah, for real. Like, this isn't like these aren't frivolous. These aren't movie opinions and shit. Where it's like, but
Yeah. Well,
it's like,
the truth is, I was gonna say, the truth is, like, his response is coming from someone who's wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very comfortable where you can kind of, like, just disappear in your bubble until it gets you. You know what I mean? Because everything always catches up or whatever. But it's just like, well, you don't have to deal with that because I'm, like, create my own reality.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
for real.
kind of mindset. But
Exactly,
like, we can't be too disconnected from reality though. Even if you're
yeah,
creating your own.
exactly. You so nailed it. And it's like, I keep my cat eyes on so many people. Like I still see KRS-One pop up from time to time and just drop jewels, and he'll just
Yeah,
say, I'm like, he's just like being like, I'm still trying to be an intelligent person in the world, and this is what matters to me right now. And like I'm still trying to be like, I'm not in the music industry. I'm not trying to like sell records or nothing, but I still live the name Knowledge Reigns Supreme over nearly
yeah,
everyone. Like
yeah,
it wasn't some fucking gimmick or some shit. I'm like, word up, that's great. You're 55 years old, humbly still being a teacher. Like, so like, and like, he wasn't dropping things that were like pertinent to my life or whatever. Like, not to say it was like irrelevant to me, but like I'm just seeking certain
yeah.
things that were, I don't know, just cutting edge stuff. So I might be paying more attention to Nas or something. But I don't know. You ask a really good question because so many people are doing things, but I'm like, I don't know. I want them to be doing things the way Jay Electronica was like on like the
Mm,
cutting edge. I might even ask him. I'd be like, "Yo, why did you disappear? Like you were literally the leader of the culture, and then you like vanished." And then
yeah,
he
yeah.
came back this year and dropped like 4 or 5 little mini projects, and then disappeared again. And it's
Again.
like, yo, like all these
So,
people have podcasts and stuff, but I don't feel like they're leaders. Joe Budden, Joe and Jada, like there's
something?
a variety of people. I'm like, yeah, you're out there doing things, but you're not like teaching the youth.
Yeah. You know what? As you're speaking, like, I feel, it's like my assumption, intuition, or whatever is that it's almost like protecting their energy, right? It's like they know that the domain that they operate in with music, to be consistent, like, there's like a mental battle, I'm assuming, a lot of energy and stuff that they just don't even want to deal with. So it's like, drop my project and let me go back home. I mean, I'm gardening, what I'm saying? They're probably chilling, living life, what I'm saying? Like, but trying to maintain the responsibility of being like, okay, knowing that they have a gift, you got to honor your gift and just kind of like pop in and pop out, So I feel like
Yeah.
there must be some type of energy like on those levels, because it does take a particular mindset to be in the spotlight all the time and to go to the radio shows and go this or that, and just to be always on. That's a particular kind of mindset or individual, and when I noticed that, I even kind of like put Kendrick Lamar in that kind of category as well. Like he just kind of comes in out and is gone, just disappears. It's like, okay, like I don't know, maybe there's something there where they just don't really vibe in the whatever setting that we have for hip hop now. But it does seem like, like you said, like things are crumbling, old ways of being are crumbling, and there's new ways of operating. Maybe this is moving into the new direction where like artists don't always have to be on, but when they drop, it's like something meaningful.
I feel that, and like, and somebody when J. Cole came out, somebody I was there was like J. Cole was kind of rising, and like Lil Wayne, like not to say that they're on the low. Like, I
Yeah,
know Lil Wayne has much a deeper career, but at the time, I made the comparison between the two. They were like, "Yo," they're like, "Lil Wayne is on everything. He's just rapping all the time," and they're like, "Yeah, well, J. Cole is doing really good too, and he'll just." Drop one project once a year or 2 years, and then you don't see him
yeah,
really at all. And he's not like, he's pretty close to, I think Kendrick like hides himself more, but
yeah,
like J. Cole is pretty not
yeah,
in public and
yeah,
still
yeah,
doing quite well. So it's like, yeah, and somebody was like, you just got to figure out what your approach is. Like
yeah,
some people are just like, they want to be out there every day, every week, just constantly dropping content and in you know on the internet or whatever. And then some people are working the anonymous. So it's like, yeah, you got to figure out what works for you. But I'm kind of speaking that I do want somebody to be very clear and consistent about particularly leadership and education and the
yeah,
things that we really do need in the culture right now that don't really, like, it's up in the air. And like there's no, it's not, some of the young cats aren't really leading it like they used to, and the old cats just don't, they're like, hey, like the culture's not following me, I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing for my world and those connected, like
mm,
all the quote unquote unk rap. I don't want
yeah,
to, somebody's like, all the legends that dropped this year, like they're not, none of it went platinum or nothing, but everybody knows the shit is fucking great, solid stuff.
and yeah, man, and we need to get back to that essence where it's just great music. Okay, yeah, it didn't hit the charts, it didn't like go quadruple platinum or whatever, but it really spoke to the culture and you felt it in your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's really what it's all about. And that is the essence of the 90s. You know what I mean? Like the whole objective was not to go mainstream. Yeah, we wanted, success and whatnot, but the mainstream was not like the goal. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like having a little commercial appeal, like maybe like a one record that's pop or whatever, but the vast majority, it's in the trenches, it's in the culture. It's being that voice, like just like what Chuck D spoke about, man, hip hop being, like the CNN of Black America. You know what I'm saying? It's like that megaphone. And we can't like
Straight
lose
up.
sight of that, right?
Straight up, like a lot of so many legends we could talk about, like didn't even come close to having no gold records, and that shit does not fucking matter at all. And I mean, whether it's record sales or it's like views,
Yeah.
like some people are like, oh, this song doesn't have any views or it didn't sell anything, and some of these kids write it off. It's like that doesn't matter. Like it's still a great piece of art. Like
Yeah.
Rascast drop some new shit, be like, I don't care how many views. I'm like, Rascast is dropping some new shit. It's great. And like, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, your question is great. It just ripped my head. I
I
don't know.
feel
How
you,
about
man.
you though? Who would you talk to if there was somebody that you could sit down for a Q&A?
First impression that comes to mind, just like locally, man, Socrates, man. I think Socrates would be a great person to build with. I feel like he'd be like super honest and transparent, especially just in that kind of setting of like the young artists who are trying to figure out the path and spaces like that. I think it'd be really really interesting.
Yep.
Um, I think because especially when it comes to like just like Toronto history and just spaces, I think Motion would be a really dope person to build with.
Nice.
Getting down into like the culture, that can really give like perspective and who is there, like who's foundational.
Yes.
In terms of like American artists, first person that comes to mind is Malice, from Clips. Like I really like his his mindset and how he speaks and how he just like maneuvers. I think he would be make like an interesting conversation, and especially him kind of like separating from secular music and then going gospel rap, and even when he was on that side, like I listened to his albums and they're still hard, what I mean, but more on his relationship to Christ and Jesus and whatnot, which I respected, because it was authentic, and that's for
Word.
me what we care about. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's not my lane, as long as it's authentic, I can 100% respect that. But then
That's it.
him coming back into this space and collaborating with his brother, and how he's been managing his faith in this like secular world, and and also too sometimes when I'll see some of the interviews with the Clips, Pusha T, like he's in it, like he's all there, but I look at Malice and I'm just like, yeah, this guy would rather just be at home, probably like chilling with his kids or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just
Yeah.
see it on his face, like doing these runs. Like he's not like he's like, I don't care, like but I got to be here because the album, yada yada yada. So
Yeah. The album rollout is
the
happening.
album rollout. But I
I
think
mean, actually,
he would
they
have an
shout out.
honest.
Yeah, no,
Go
you
ahead.
finish. No, I
No,
just
I'll say
wanted to say shout out their
if,
5 Grammy nominations.
oh, really? I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, yeah. Got Clips 5 Grammy nominations. Yeah, but yeah,
Word.
go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I just feel like he would be really like honest with that type of perspective, and he would appreciate that because it's real. It's not like a superficial path to like kind of unpack. It's like these are real things, like the wars in the mind, and trying to find that balance, and like what's going on in his mind in those times where he's doing the rollout when clearly you don't really want to be there, like that type of working that type of energy, right?
yeah.
So
That's real. That's real. Oh man. Yeah. Um. I mean, Rodrigo, I think has it, but I did an interview with. Have you interviewed them
I
ever?
I interviewed
Yeah.
Pusha T.
For sure.
Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
interviewed Pusha
Yeah.
T. I didn't get to interview Malice, but I did get to meet him, and
Yeah.
I do have like a photo with him somewhere. But that was through Tara and the Forgiveness Project. So shout out to Tara. I know that Malice has been like supporting, and I think support doing workshops within like the self detention and so on and so forth, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was the only connection I have with Clips. Yeah.
Mhm. I did an interview with them as well in the Much Music Building in the year 2000 for their first album, and
Wow. What?
yeah, it was way before it was only on cassette. So somebody recorded the cassette because Rodrigo actually printed in the second Clips album rollout. He actually printed he was like, "Yo, this is from the first album. This was an unreleased interview." Just for various reasons, certain things
Yeah.
just don't come out sometimes. And yeah, man, I'll never forget one thing that happened, and they were very nice people, and I gave them my CD, and they asked me to autograph it. Yeah,
Wait.
they were so
Yeah.
yeah, they were so like I done my homework because I was really big on the Neptunes. I knew about the Clips, I knew about Khalees, I knew
Yeah.
about like the whole crew, Star Trek. And I just really like we had a really long, good interview, and I also knew about the drug game because I was selling weed at the time. So like my drug, I remember that too. Like I asked some really good questions about authenticity and drugs, and Pusha T really liked it. So we had a really good conversation in the year 2000, and I'll never forget. Yeah, he's like, "Yo, can you sign this?" So I was like, "Yo, you want me to sign?" I was like,
That's
"Oh shit,
peace.
Clips
That's
are
peace.
asking for my autograph." This is a while
Yeah.
ago. So yeah, damn, 25 years ago,
Yeah. And like as you say that, this is surprising me because like the vibe that I've gotten from both of them, I haven't seen them together, but just individual, very hospitable and respectful and just cool. I mean, I felt like I was just chilling with the man. Them, like I was like, yo, these guys are like chill. You know what I'm saying? And so that's cool and just humble the fact that they're like, hey, you got to sign the CD to get your autograph. I love that, man. That's real right there.
Yeah, yeah, they were. It was a good conversation. That was a
Jeez.
good, and it was, yeah, long before I didn't have a camera. It was long before smartphones and video tapes, and well, there was video cameras, but it was just sit down and talk to these people, and like, so that tape exists somewhere. But yeah, man, just like that Narwhal video vault, man, I want to dig up a lot of the jewels that exist floating around. But
Yeah.
yeah, yo, speaking of, yeah, real quick, that Diddy Puff Daddy
Oh,
documentary is
the
coming out.
50, the long-awaited 50 Cent one that it was supposedly going to be called Did he do it, and now it's called something else.
It's called Sean Combs, The Reckoning.
Like wow,
Boom.
wow, just
Yeah,
boom. Yes, that's it.
yeah. I think it
Yeah,
comes out
and that's gonna
December
be on
2nd.
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, the whoo, I mean, obviously, I mean, 50's good at what he does. And 50 actually, this is wild because it's going to be like 50 knows the guy and has history and has songs with
Yeah, yeah,
Puff
yeah,
Daddy.
yeah, yeah,
Like you are the person that so
yeah.
there's that. So I mean, nothing made by any human is purely objective,
Right.
but there is there is that degree, but also at the exact same time, I've been watching like 50 Cent, not only the Power Universe, which is great, but like that's fictional. 50 Cent has a show called 50 Ways to Catch a Killer, and I've been watching it. It's a fantastic real life crime documentary show where
Okay.
50 does the intro and the outro, and he's like, yo, I am just researching crime on the streets because hey, I come from crime. I know what crime
Yeah.
is. I'm just keeping it real. And he's made a show, and I've been watching the show for a while, and they're really good. It's he's like 50 ways to catch a killer, and each one of them is a really different fucked up case where like it's just you can't every 5 minutes there's a new twist and turn, and by the end of it you're like the cousin came in from the and killed the aunt over some drug shit from some cart, and you're like, yo, and 50 Cent will be like, this is a real American crime, and he just did the research and has
Wow.
all the interviews, and it's like a really well executed like unfolding of it. So I'm like,
Wow.
he can do this, but also he's involved in it. So it's just gonna be it.
Yep.
I hope he like doesn't I hope he does a really good job and like doesn't troll or
I think it's going to be well executed. There might be some splashes of trolling because it's him, but I feel like it's going to be well documented. Fact driven. Just maybe some exclusive interviews that people never even thought of, or and like you said, like he's kind of like an insider. Like he's been there. He's been in the circle, so he'll be privileged to a lot of things that other people would not be. So
for sure. It's like, yo, I mean, he says I'm like, you've been to Diddy's house, I would assume, he says that he left the parties before the 4 in the morning freaky shit would
yeah,
happen. But it's like, I mean, I feel like you've been to like a white party or you've been
yeah,
around something.
for
So
sure,
like,
for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll look out for that in December. A lot going on, man. And 50 Cent's also going to be here in Toronto in December as well, which is interesting. That's crazy. I just put the two in. Is it the same date? Hold on. Like, when is he coming? Like December?
it's really close.
I feel like it might be the same weekend.
It might be the same date. Okay, the 50 Cent thing comes out on December 2nd or 3rd,
Okay, no, I think he might be a little bit later on. I think it's like
but
the 12th,
but
something
it's
like
like
that.
the 5th though. I thought he
Oh, it
was
is?
here.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on the 5th. So it's really close. Yo, hold on. Let me just 50 Cent in Toronto. Rebel. Oh, it's the 13th. Okay. It's the
Okay, so
13th.
what? So like the next day?
No, like
What?
10 days
Oh,
later.
oh, got you. Okay. All right, that's what's up. All
Oh,
right.
wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, oh, shit. These are Bill Fitty. Bill Fitty. I don't
Oh,
know.
the tickets are. Oh, they're up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I already saw him for like the final lap tour, so I'm good. You know. But hey, man, if there's a way to link, man, that'd be dope.
That's what I'm saying and feeling. But yeah, I've seen him a number of times, but uh yeah, I don't even know why he's coming. I'm curious, but I mean, I'm happy for him and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
rock the spot, but it's just weird because I thought he retired from concerts.
Hey, man. Well, I guess like when the money calls, he's like, hey, clickety clank, clickety clank. uh,
Or,
Word,
it's,
man. All right, man. Anything else to build on, man, for this week?
mm, I think the last thing is Pete Rock, and starting from scratch is coming up.
Okay.
Mm,
Definitely
and
look
that's
up for that.
I think
Is
that's
there
about
any
it.
like holiday because I know like I'm thinking of like holiday events like hip hop related that happen in December. I know that, Cardi usually does his like annual Christmas vibe. I'm thinking, or maybe it's a little early. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I know we'll probably start hearing some things as they start rolling out.
Mhm. Mm, I can't think of anything else. Mm. But we'll keep an eye out. And yo, we'll chop it up and spread the word.
True indeed.
Or not. Yo, but
Word. All right.
yeah,
Well,
De La Soul album with Nas. Oh, so good.
we'll be checking that out, man. So I guess we'll sign off like that. Reminisce show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time live. Go buy Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Rhyme and the Supreme.
That's right, man. So we go tap in.